All right, howdy folks. A little score update on the turn. We've got Ryan behind the camera in first place at even. We've got Big Slim Dog in second place with a 2 over. Corbin in third with 3 over. Jared in fourth with 4 over. Kathan in fifth with 5 over. Jacob in sixth with 6 over. And Rhett in seventh, bringing up the caboose with a good 9 over. So,
dang it, Rhett, you messed it up.
All right, here we go. Starting on hole 10. I've got the box. I'm going with my Buzz. It's kind of up. The hole's kind of up and over this hill. Got road on the left. You've got road long. I hit a tree, but luckily I stay in bounds. Kalen throws his shot a little up, catches some trees, but lands safely. Corbin throws a nice shot, but same thing. You know, those trees just keep getting in the way of everybody's discs. Jared throws a really nice shot. It starts to fade a little later than he'd probably like. And so from the tee, he was worried about it being out of bounds, but luckily his held up and he was okay. Kathan goes with a backhand hex, but just turns it over and gets it across the road. Jacob catches a tree as well, but he's very safe and in bounds. And then Rhett throws a really nice shot that stays low and gets through everything. So I'm going with a zone. I try to keep it really close to the hillside, underneath all the tree branches. I get lucky and I stay inbounds. Jacob goes with a forehand, catches some branches, gets knocked down early. Kalen going Sky God, catches the same branches that Jacob does. So you just got to lay up here for his par and just take bogey. Jacob's got a nasty roll. And so he's sitting there for bogey. Corbin not really worried about trying to go long, so he just lays up. Rhett with a really good run for his birdie, but is going to have a fairly long comebacker for his par. Kalen just lays up. Jared's ended up staying in bounds, and then he comes up just short on that birdie putt. My par putt, just a little bit too much, catches the band. Rhett knocks down his par, Jared knocks down his par, so I drop a stroke. And we move to hole 11. Hole 11, 441-foot par 4. Corbin's got the box first, catches some very high branches, and lands in like one of the only spots of water on the course, honestly. Jared goes forehand. I think that's his nuke. Just turns over a little bit, but is able to get underneath those branches. Rhett tries to flex his longhorn. It stays on that angle, but he gets over there to what should be a good spot. I go with a DD3 and get it a little turned over. Just catches the hillside, and it ends up rolling into the water just a little bit further up from where Corbin's goes. Kalen here throws a destroyer, gets it over there in the same area that Red is. Kathan rips a nice PD shot, gets over there by Jared. And Jacob going with his Raider. Gets some turn out of it, and then he's over there on the left side. You see it falling right there, left side of the creek, a little bit past Jared and Kalen. Rhett's shot just catches the lone tree there in front of him. Jared throws a really nice upshot, easily inside circle 1. Kalen going forehand for his approach. It's hard to kind of track and see, but he throws it real low right there, gets it just underneath the pin as Rhett catches that first available again. Jacob throws pretty nice turnover, probably edge of circle from there. I throw this shot barefoot because I was in the water looking for my DD3. So I land it just inside edge of circle. Rhett's shot catches some early branches and gets knocked down right there. Corbin goes backhand with his Mako, gets that one tree, and then he goes with his patented forehand putter shot. Jacob with the turbo putt comes up just a little short. Cathan's putt just goes off the cage. Jared knocks down his birdie. Kalen knocks down his birdie. I saved par with that shot. That big tree was right there kind of in my way. That was Rhett's bogey putt, so he ends up taking a double. Jacob takes a par. I take par. Corbin drops a stroke, but Kalen and Jared pick up a stroke on me with their birdies. So going into hole 12. 332-foot par 3. That's what UDisc says. The sign says 345. So you can see that little bit of retaining wall and those bushes. The basket is up there back behind those. Jared throws a really nice shot. His just kind of center of the fairway. Kalen throws a forehand, catches the downward slope of the hill over there and just trickles into the water. I go with my Athena. I throw it kind of low, but it skips up, just kicks off that bush and stays in a good spot for me. Cathan, I think, is going backhand PD again. Catches those trees up there on the left. Jacob throws his Raider, gets it turned over, catches some early branches, but his ends up staying dry. Corbin goes Onyx, and so it gets real stable. Falls over there to the left side. Rhett throws his Crave. It looks like it's going to turn and miss that tree, but that's just been his luck today. Jacob goes Profit for his next shot. Kind of has an awkward footing, but is able to get it up on top of that retaining wall. Cathan goes Buzz OS and ends up over there just across the creek, but still dry. If you see Corbin throwing a forehand approach shot, it's almost guaranteed to be his putter. Rhett throws his shot there. This was the point where Rhett kind of started to get a little frustrated and we missed a lot of his shots. We're still trying to just film it with one phone. But my phone battery also started dying and we didn't realize it for another 2 holes. But everybody's just approaching. I go with my glitch, give it half a bid. I don't get too aggressive there because you can see that retaining wall. There's a creek on the backside, and so I don't want to end up dropping a stroke by going into the water. As everybody's putts are pretty much just laying up. Jared had a really nice approach shot here, so he's able to make par there. I've got the longest par putt there. And so everybody's just tapping in here on hole 12. Kalen drops a stroke, so that moves him and Jared into a tie. Bottom 4 stay the same, and I stay in the lead going into hole 13. So if you haven't already, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. We're going here into hole 13, 557-foot par 4. Jared catches the early branches right there, which on this hole is pretty much death. You're pretty much guaranteed to be making at least one shot over unless you make a miraculous second shot. I decide to go through the left gap. Kalen goes through the left gap with the forehand. It plays way over here to the right. You see it drop over there by the rec pad on the right side of the screen. For me, playing over here to the left side, Cathan follows me. He kisses off that tree off the left and gets a good bit of forward progress. But it really opens up over here on that left side. You've really got that one tree way down there in the fairway to deal with. Corbin catches a tree here, kicks over to the left. But if you get enough forward progress up that left gap, you can play a forehand out to the left of that tree and have a look at birdie at the basket. Jacob goes with his felon up the right side, makes a really nice shot, and Rhett gets the worst kick off the tee out of everybody. I think after this fall he got pretty frustrated, so we missed a lot of his shots on this hole because he had a rough time. Jared goes with the forehand, but throws it a little nose up, stalls a little bit too much for him. I don't know if Corbin was trying to go over that tree or if he just released it up a little bit, but it catches those branches, it rolls down okay. And so he's got a shot from there. Rhett grip blocks his, catches a tree, gets a backwards kick. Kalen stayed dry. And he throws a really nice forehand, gets on the front side of that tree and kicks a little forward. Kathan's far enough over here on the left side of that fairway, so he's able to go backhand around that tree and drop it in over the creek. Jared goes with his forehand. It looked like it kind of got an awkward kick or skip or something there. Jacob with his patented overhand shot that we all envy comes up a little short, but he's got to look at the basket. I go with my captain's raptor on a forehand. I get it out of the hand on a little bit too much Anheuser, so it turns over into a slight headwind a little bit more than I would like it to. Corbin goes with a really nice approach shot, just up, probably 20 short of the basket. Kathan throws his Buzz OS. Not really sure what happened with Rhett's putt there. Jacob gets his laid up putt nice and close. Kalen's putt there just never really had a chance. I was halfway making a bid, but came up, pretty handily short. As Jerry goes off the top band. Everybody goes to tapping in right here. Rhett taps in his triple. The rest of us tapped out as our pars. Kathan finishes his shot there. Jared hits off the left side of the chains, and Corbin takes his par. So Jared and Rhett both end up taking triples on hole 13, and the rest of us take pars. Hole 14, 357-foot par 3. Plays downhill. I go with my Buzz, just throw it a little bit nose up, catch a branch, get knocked down in the middle of the fairway. And that's really kind of the theme for everybody here. Kalen catches that tree there. Corbin catches a branch, gets knocked down. Kathan goes over the rec pad where I was filming. Misses pretty much everything, gets a lot of good forward progress, and you can see that basket right down there that we're going towards. Jacobs gets low, but catches that same tree that Kalen hit. Jared throws a nice shot here. Just kind of going left in the way of the basket. And then Rhett almost hits my bag there, but doesn't. Skips off the ground. And then he actually has a really nice approach shot here. Wow. Gets it inside circle from being the furthest away. I go with my NV, never really commit. Come up well short.
Great shot, Corbin.
Corbin throws his putter shot, gets down inside circle. I think that's Jared throwing his Berg. Gets a really nice shot there. Jacob throwing a mid-range, or maybe that was his profit. Kalen getting a little bit of grip lock, hitting some trees. This is Kathan's tee shot, so he's going with his P2, which I think is his more long-distance putter. Comes up short, but stays inside circle. Kalen for his par, comes up a little short. Jacob's par bid comes up short. I throw my glitch and had the line, but didn't really give it enough height. So everybody's able to tap out from there. Corbin, Jared, and Kathan all take par, and the rest of us all take bogey. Hole 15, the third longest hole on the course, second longest hole on the back nine. Kathan goes through that left gap, just catches a tree, gets kicked into the middle. Jared going with his flippy nuke, gets it a little nose up and just catches some trees and gets knocked down real early. Corbin throws his dynamic disc capped in there and absolutely crushes it, keeps it low. Nice flip, plenty of forward progress, and gets around those bushes basically where you need to be. I go forehand with my DD3 to that left gap. You can kind of see it fade. Gets well past those bushes, and so me and Corbin are both going to be looking at eagle pretty easily. Kalen throws his destroyer, I believe, and is lucky to actually stay dry. And then Jacob gets a very strange kick where it rolls off that branch right into the middle. Rhett throws his longhorn, but misses everything and gets out there to a nice gap. And so the hole is playing behind all these bushes, basically straight ahead from where we're filming right there. So Kathan goes around the left side. Jacob goes around the right side, gets a little bit of a late release, kind of catches the hill. Gives a very funny look to the camera there. Jared throws a forehand approach shot, ends up short of the basket, but he should have a look at birdie. Rhett gets his upshot a little nose up. Kalen going with his zone here. Really awkward footing and somehow stays out of the creek, which I think is the most impressive part of that. Jacob throws a nice upshot there. This is Corbin's bid at eagle. Looked good, but came up pretty well short. Kathan definitely had enough on his. Just didn't quite have the line. Maybe a little bit too much power. This is Jared's birdie. Comes up a little short. Kathan gives his a really good chance, but just a little right. Jacob throws what looked like a really nice putt, but just catches left side chains, and then I'm not really sure what Rhett was putting at. I think he might have saw a different basket. My bid at eagle skips off the top of the basket, which I was really bummed about. That was my second chance at eagle of the day. Everybody taps in. Corbin and I both take birdies there, so that puts Corbin into a tie for second place with Kalen. And we're moving on to hole 16. Hole 16, 320-foot par 3. Corbin again throws that captain that he's been throwing. Really nice shot. Goes probably 25, 30 long. I go with my Onyx. I choose to not go up the middle gap. I like to throw Spike Heiser way out wide. Rhett kind of misses it on camera, but I end up inside circle 2. Jared throws his nuke right up the gap. You can't really see it, but he skips just past the basket, and he's going to be closer than Corbin. Kalen throws a nice shot, but catches the very last limb out there. Gets knocked down. Kathan decides to follow his brother and hit the same limb, but just a little bit higher. Jacob goes forehand. He's got enough speed on his for it to fight through and get over there to the right side. And then Rhett catches an early tree and gets knocked down. So Rhett had a little bit of an awkward footing there, but actually threw a pretty nice shot. This grass was just real long and thick, and so he doesn't get a good skip out of it. Kathan with a great attempt at a throw in there. Kaylin doing the same thing, but goes a little long. Rhett throws a nice shot, gets it up there close. Jacob with a long circle 2 chance. Gets it around the basket, so he gave it enough, just didn't quite have the line. I had the line, I just didn't give it enough power. Skip it off the front of the basket. Kathan throws a really nice putt, and one more inch and that thing's in. Corbin just airballs his birdie chance. Jared gets a nasty spit out there. And Kaylin knocks down a really nice par putt. Corbin comes back to save his par there. Rhett to make bogey, and everybody else taps out. So everybody's going to stay in the same positions that they were in after hole 15. All the same after hole 16 going into hole 17. .330-foot par 3. And Corbin just going with that same driver that he's been leaning on for the last couple of holes. This is actually the hole where my phone died. So we ended up having to switch to Jared's. I go with my Guadalupe, grip lock it a little bit, catch that tree, and then I end up rolling into the water. So I've got to throw my, drop 2 and throw for 3 from the creek right there. Jared goes a little inside on his forehand, but is going to have a good look at the basket. Kaylin going over the same side I did, but his gets knocked flat down and doesn't get a bad, roll away like mine. Kathan going with the left-handed gap and absolutely pures it. This is the clip where my phone dies. Jacob threw a beautiful Raider shot, and we don't really get to see the end of it there. So at this point, we also missed my upshot. I threw mine to about 15 feet as Jared throws his birdie chance off the chains from 70 feet. And so the filming and everything gets a little all mixed up. I knocked down my par putt, or my bogey putt there. I apologize. Kaylin's par putt ends up going a little long as Jared misses his par bid off the top band. And so me, Kaylin, Jared, and Rhett all end up dropping a shot to Corbin, Kathan, and Jacob going into hole 18. .460-foot par 4. Lots of junk to deal with. Somehow Corbin's kicks left after hitting on the right side of those bushes. Jacob gets a nice shot and hits on the left side of that tree, catches a limb, and kicks off to the right. Kathan throws his shot a little high, gets it turned over there to the left side. Kaylin with his forehand and catches a tree, gets knocked down real early. Jared throws a real nice shot with his crave and just pushes up through that middle gap. I go with my DD3. I get it a little high, but plenty of forward progress. Hit a tree. I'm just going to be a little bit past Jared. And then Rhett gets a nice shot with his longhorn there. So I think Kalen went with a second destroyer shot here. Almost makes it through that gap and just kind of catches those trees, gets knocked down. Corbin going with his Mako. Lands it up on the top of the hill. Jacob throwing his reactor. I didn't really get a good look at this one, but his ended up over to the left on the top of the hill. I think it just slipped out of his hand a little bit. Kathan landing just short of the hill. Jared throwing what was going to be a nice shot, but then caught that last branch. And Rhett getting his shot out there, just down to the right side of the basket. I throw my glitch, early release it a little bit. Don't get quite the forward progress that I want it to. And so you can see that hill, the basket's down on the right side of it. So if you can get something, if you're over here on the left side of that fairway going over that hill, you want to throw a shot like Kalen did where it matches the grade of it and it just kind of skips down nice and easy. And so that's Corbin's third shot into those bushes right there. So he's going to have an obstructed putt to save his par. Kathan going with a get freaky zone, little deep, but stays dry and stays out of the road. Jared trying to work some of that magic with his berg, but just kind of turfs it, comes up a little short. Kalen with a 35-footer to save his par to put pressure on Corbin. From a knee from my birdie, Corbin's putt comes through the branches right there, hits the cage, comes up short, so Corbin's going to end up taking bogey. Jacob's shot comes flying in. Everybody else taps out their pars. Corbin's the only one to take a bogey. And so with Kalen's big putt there, that actually moves him into a tie for second place to finish the day on the final hole, which is big in the point standings. So the final standings for the day, I finish at 2 over and take the second win in a row. Corbin and Kalen 5 over, Jared at 7 over, Kathan at 9 over, Jacob at 12, and Red at 20 over. That's going to bring our total point standings for the tour right now. At me at 26 points in first, Jared in second with 20, Kalen takes over third place with 17, Jacob in fourth with 16. So 10 points covers the first 4 places. So it's still anybody's game. And here's Jacob with the outro interview.
So, Ryan, why don't you tell us about the round today, the results for those who are watching?
A little humid. It's been raining all morning. We went and braved the elements somewhat. Luckily, we were at a course that was pretty hilly, had a lot of elevation. And was able to come out with my second win in a row. Shot 2 over, which wasn't great for what I've done at that course in the past, but enough to get the job done.
And yeah, back-to-back. So we missed this interview the last time. Bit of a everyone just dispersed, and we were all ready to go home that day too. So how does it feel? Like, what was working for you? What do you think really kind of put you up there and like kind of put you over the rest of the field?
I guess I was just kind of able to make my putts. The upshots helped give me short putts to be able to make, and so, that's always a good winning combination, I feel like. I kept it in play off the tee for the most part, and so, not dropping strokes is the name of the game, and I was just able to maintain and get the job done.
Well, Ryan, thanks for joining. Congrats on the back-to-back dubs.
Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank y'all for watching, and stay safe, stay hydrated.